Hey guys, welcome to another Pro series where I will be going through end of year procedures with you guys. For those who don't know me, my name is Donald. I'm Head of Customer Service here at Functional Solutions. So let's dive into the end of year procedures and what you can expect to be doing during this time. So I'll just share my screen with you. And again, if you guys have any questions during the session, please jump in and leave a question in the YouTube chat, and I'll read it out and we'll go through those questions. Alrighty, so for those who have been with us for a while, you would know that we do our end of year, start of year procedures together. This year we've decided to split them into two, so that because we're not at the end of the year just yet, but we're very close, we can at least get everyone ready, and then come the new year, when everyone has up-to-date CSV files and stuff like that, you can run those start of year procedures, which would be separate to what we're doing today. So let's have a look at this slide here, and you can see here I've got 3 steps. Okay, 3 simple steps for your end of year procedures. One is prepare your CSV file. Okay, so as I said just before, when you're doing your start of year procedures, that will include patron imports, all right, and you will need a CSV for that. So your CSV is a very important part. Number 2 is update your loan limits. Okay, and this will include loan limits for students, as well as the end of year and expiry dates, which we'll go through. And then finally is move your patrons to left. Okay, very important that you do that step. It just creates good practice for keeping your data clean, alright, and it just helps when reporting in the new year. Okay. Alright, your CSV files. Okay, what information do I need? So we do have some mandatory fields you can see here. They are first name, surname, enrollment ID, that could be student ID, their e-number, stuff like that, year level and homeroom. Okay, they're the 5 mandatory fields that we need to do a CSV import. Okay, if you don't have one of those, it won't allow you to complete the import. Okay, so very important that you have at least those 5 in your CSV file. You can add, a million other different fields if you like, but as long as those 5 are in there, then the CSV file will be perfect. And you can see here we put some recommended additional fields. Would be email and username. They are very, very handy. Email, so that you can email out overdue letters, stuff like that. Username is very important if you are a site that's using single sign-on. Alright, so you sign in through your school account. If you have Gmail, Google authentication set up, WA sites, they will have their own SSO set up. So username is very important for that. And you can also add the parent information there, as you can see at the bottom. This allows us to also, send out overdue emails to those parents and have the emails go to their name. All right. Next slide. And for staff CSV files, they're very simple. We don't need as much information. Just their first name, surname, employee ID, our staff ID, and the email address. Okay, we can normally add the homeroom and classification ourselves, just because they're usually teacher or staff, and we'll get that from the information that's already in the database. And then the other field we recommend is username, again if you're using SSO. Okay, here's just a quick little layout of what your CSV file should look like once it's done. Okay, so you've got your enrollment ID here. or it could be the student's barcode, as well as the e-number. Right. Okay, their surname, first name, role ID, which is their homeroom, year level, which is classification or class grade. Okay, username and email address. Okay, it doesn't have to be in this order. Whatever order you can get it to us is fine. The beauty of the patron importer is you can create your own template, and I'll be going over that in another session in a couple of days. Alrighty, so let's jump in and we'll go over changing your loan limits. That includes all areas, your final borrowing dates and expiry dates, just so that, you know, come to next year when you start loaning, if you forgot to update those fields, you will notice a few little errors when circulating. Okay, so let's just go through and have a look at how we change those. Okay, we're going to go from the menu, configuration, and global functions. Okay, and once we're in here, just expand your patron. Okay, and we want to click move patron by classification. We'll do the move first, and then we'll update the loan limits and so on and so forth. Okay, we want to click this one. Okay, and I just want to make sure that you do this when you're no longer loaning items out. Okay, so once we move patrons to left, if we then go ahead and try to loan items out, obviously you'll have errors because the students are in a different classification, and that's a classification of left 2021. Alright, so just be careful if you're doing this step. Make sure that you're no longer loaning items out and you're ready to complete the year. If you do have a working CSV file, you can definitely go ahead and move patrons and then run a patron import. That's totally up to you. But I'm just going to click open. Again, this is just a demonstration of how you would do it. Select all your year levels, okay, that you want to move to left. Click search at the bottom. Okay, this would normally load a list of patrons. As this is our test database, it's a little bit all over the place. I'll just click that. I'm just going to add them all, so you can see what I mean. Okay, so there's all our patrons. Click change at the bottom. Okay, then you'll want to enter in your new classification of left. Okay, so if I start typing, we might have a left 2021. Yep. Okay, if you don't have a left that you're looking for, just keep typing. Okay, it'll say no result. You click the plus symbol and it will create one for you. Okay, so make sure you have your left 2021. Okay, and then you want to click update. It'll just give you a little confirmation, hit confirm, and then it'll make that change. Okay, so I'm not going to make that change right now on our test site, but that's how you move your patrons. Okay, so you want to do that for both classification, okay, and your homeroom. Okay, so make sure you move all patrons from their current classifications and homerooms to left. That way, when you do your patron import either at the end of the year if you already have your CSV file, or in the new year when you get one, it'll leave those patrons that have left in that old classification. You can report on that, and then you can do a bulk delete. Okay, and you'll remove all those left patrons. All of those steps we will be going through in the start of your procedure video, which will happen next year. But if you do want to know how that's done, definitely just chuck in a mailbox ticket or a concierge chat for those who have it active, and we can walk you through those steps. Alright, I will now go to Authority Editor. This is where you'll go to update your loan limits and final borrowing dates. Now make sure you've got a pencil and paper out, because there are a few areas that you will need to change. Okay, so first of all, we want to expand our authority on the left, and we want to start with class grade. Okay, that's our year levels. If I hit the pencil and paper on any of these, I will get a list of loan limits, okay, as well as my final borrowing dates. You can see here this site has it set to the 22nd of December 2021. All you want to do is update that date to the date you need it to be. For those who forget, we do run a bulk update on all sites to update the final borrowing date and expiry date in all areas, and all we do is add an extra year to that date. Okay, so if you have a specific date that you want added that's not going to be the 22nd or the 17th or whatever it is, definitely come in here and update those. Once you're done, hit save, and that's it. So you'll have to go through each one and make those changes, but once you're done, that'll push it out to the students, so come the new year you won't have any issues loaning items out to them. Okay, so that's the first area you want to make a change in, class grade. Second area is your loan type. Okay, so each loan type also has a final borrowing date attached to it. For example, if I go to fortnightly, you can see here the final borrowing date for any items with the loan type of fortnightly is the 19th of the 12th. Hit the pencil. Okay, update the date. Hit save there and save there. Close, and that's done. Okay, very simple. But if you don't do that, again, you'll have those little pop-ups in circulation when loaning. Okay, so you go through and update any of those loan types that you need to. And the next spot is your renewal type. Okay, same deal as your loan type. You will need to update these dates as well. And again, if you forget, we do a bulk update at the start of each year for anyone who hasn't made those changes. So it's not a massive deal if you forget, because we do that for you as well. Okay, so that's changing your loan limits and your final borrowing dates and expiry dates. Again, a very important part of the end of year procedure, because if you don't do it, you won't teach us next year. But like I said before, we do it for you at the end of each year or at the start of each year anyway, so it's okay. Okay, so that, I'll just show you one more thing in here. You might want to go through and update loan limits. If there are any changes that need to be made, definitely do it in the class grade field as well. But that is pretty much it for your end of year end of year procedures. Come back to our first slide. Okay, so we've gone through preparing your CSV file, we've updated our loan limits, and we've moved our patrons to left. So we're ready for the new year to start. And in your start of year procedures, you will pretty much only just run a CSV, okay, or patron import, and then report on your left patrons, and then delete them, which we will go through in a future session with you guys. Really appreciate you guys jumping in and joining this session. Again, if you do have any questions, I will hang about for a few minutes, but you know where to find us in the concierge or on our on your mailbox, okay, in your support tickets. For those who aren't aware, we do have a Facebook community, which I'll place in the description. It'd be awesome to see you guys all in there. It's very active. We post a lot of stuff up there each day, reminders of YouTube live sessions, little Q&A sessions that we run. So definitely jump in and subscribe to that. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. That way you don't miss out on any videos that we're running. But yeah, we really appreciate everything you guys do, and I hope this end of year video has got you prepared for the end of year. And if I don't speak to you before the end of the year, I hope you guys have a great holiday, and I'm sure we'll talk in the new year. I appreciate your time, guys.